of climate change. This is a concept that has a lot of promise for replication in other African countries as part of the worldwide push to attain net zero emissions. Esther Diana with more.
Building a company, especially in Africa, you have to do twice as much as you would do if you were in, somewhere in Europe or US.
Today on My Market Story, we speak to Christopher Mara, the CEO Kiri, an electric mobility startup. He tells us about how he's scaling up his business to meet the nationwide demand.
It's not easy building a business, especially in Kenya. One thing we've gotten, especially a lot of feedback we get from, because we've been talking to a lot of investors trying to build that pipeline in terms of capital and people bringing in investment into our company. And one thing we always get is, building a company, especially in Africa, you have to do twice as much as you would do if you were in, somewhere in Europe or US, because one, you have to show that the product works, you have to show that there's demand for it, you have to show that you have clients, and you have to bring a little bit of revenue for people to have that confidence that when they invest in you, they're not investing in an idea, they're actually investing in something that's already working, marketable, and you have a pipeline of clients that are ready to take it on. So that for them, they know if I put my money here, it's coming out here. What we want to do is roll out to the 47 counties across Kenya, have dealerships in every one of these counties so that we're not only, just focus on Nairobi, because Nairobi is the big market, but the benefits of this product is countrywide. I mean, motorcycles are used in every single corner of this country. So our immediate plans is to scale up production to a point where we're able to meet the demand, not just in Nairobi, but beyond Nairobi. So we know there's demand for the product. From the clients that we've been testing with, a lot of them, we've now understood things that what's right and what's wrong about our product. So in terms of what's right, of course, it's doubling down on that and improving on that. What we know is wrong is just basically shoring up those weaknesses and making sure that once now we are rolling out, which we are pretty confident we're basically 95% of the way there. What we don't have is the capital to really now hit those markets strong. The company was officially registered and founded in January 2020, but for me the journey began in 2019, and this included visits to India and China to go and look for suppliers and manufacturers who can help us start assembling these products in Kenya. For the last 2 years, we spent a lot of 2020 shipping in our first sets of units, assembling them, and then also testing them, because we had to make sure that what we're bringing is good for the Kenyan market. So we tested with a wide variety of clients. The first 6 months it was just me, so I had to learn a lot of things like, a lot of electrical engineering things that I didn't know. But over time, we've managed to employ a few people. So it's basically a fully electric vehicle. So it runs on a battery, which is a 72-volt, 30-amp-hour battery. Depending on the model you choose, it powers an electric hub motor. So this ranges from 800 watts all the way to a 3,000 kilowatt motor. And basically from there, it's all controlled by a controller, which is very similar to your controller in the solar units, but this now controls the power that goes from the battery to the motor, and also displays how much power you have in the battery, how much distance you have left, and how fast you're going. So a lot of the capital that has come in so far is through my own personal savings, through a few friends and family who've helped us get this off the ground. A lot of the border guys love it. For them, they see the immediate savings that they make. So they don't have to keep on going to fuel stations, which right now you're getting a liter of fuel for about 125 bob, and for them that will give them maybe 30 kilometers. For us, of charging a battery to full only takes 2 units of electricity, which is about 50 bob. And from that, you're getting 70 kilometers. So, we're saving them half on what the expenditure is. I've always ridden bikes when I was young, but motorcycles, I had a faint interest, but never really gotten onto one. But the moment I rode an electric motorcycle, I just fell in love with it. It's quick, it's easy, it's automatic. There's not all these gears and clutches that you have to learn. So within literally 3 minutes of getting on top of one. I was, riding around by myself comfortably.
The young CEO, who is passionate about clean mobility and renewable energy, has joined the push towards attaining a worldwide zero emission.
My passion has always been in renewable energy, so solar, wind, and the way the world is going, if we want to, reduce on carbon emissions, electric transportation is the way to go. We've bootstrapped as much as possible, building the initial company on our own savings so that, we can validate the product and validate the idea on as little capital as possible. From that point on is also now the next step for us was to make sure that, where we saw we needed to improve, we've tried and improve. And then also just formulating a long-term plan in terms of, if we do get money, this is what we're going to do. If we don't get money, this is what we're going to do. So we have a strategy, you have your plan A and you have your plan B. And what we've done is at least laid the foundation of whichever way it happens, we'll make sure that the company grows and is strong and will survive the next 5, 10, 15 years. When I started this, I think there was maybe like 2-3 companies in the market. Now I think there's probably like 15 startups looking and within this area. But what they say, competition is healthy. It's good. The more competition there is, it means that a lot more people are looking at this industry and thinking, there's some money to be made there. So I think it's good, and competition only helps you improve and helps create awareness. On the other hand, it also made government realize, by the way, this is an industry that not only can we create jobs in, but there's private investment that's come into this. How can government back these investors? And what you find is a lot of the people actually come into this sector, it's a lot of young people, So you can see it's being led by the youth, and the people who are really interested in buying these bikes are the youth. We have scooters as well, and we have motorcycles. So, the scooters, like the one I'm sitting on, is for, people who want to do their daily commute, go to work, go home, just light travel around the city, yeah? It's not technically for commercial purposes, but it can be used for commercial purposes. Then we have a different 2 other models. So one is basically looks like your normal border type motorcycle. So that's mostly for commercial purposes, delivery, border riders, ride hailing. And then we have a more sportier version for someone who wants a cool bike to go to and from work, or even just can also be used for border work, but something that stands out a little bit more than the other bikes.
Wow, quite an inspiration and very intriguing. You can only get this here on Business Today, and getting some feedback from some of our viewers, Nekesa, Caroline watching us from 3D, amazing stuff on the motor electric bikes. Thank you for your feedback. And that's where we want to wrap it up. Thank you, and see you in the morning on Business Cafe, where we'll be talking about matters to do with what it takes to become a city. And this comes on the back of what we saw in Nakuru, and of course we'll be having some very interesting content on that front. At this point, I leave you in the able hands of my colleague Ali Manzu.